What's up, grinders? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a react to a video from this guy right here, Evildea Monolingual Polyglot. He apparently mentioned me in a video, which my Discord said, hey Evildea, you gotta check this one out, this one's a little bit wacky. And then the Exposing Fake Polyglot YouTubers dude, he also mentions me, and then that video. So I guess we're going to watch this together, but before we do, I know the lighting is shit. I am so sorry about that. I am in a hotel room in China at the moment. This is the best you're gonna get, like the fucking... You can literally see where my head goes from the front face of the cube to the top face of the cube. Okay, so let's watch this. I've also downloaded it, so we're going to watch it offline because, again, in China, YouTube, not exactly YouTube-friendly country. So let's begin.
Millions of people are struggling.
Ah, man, okay. I've reacted to this guy before. And I only just remembered right now, he speaks so goddamn slow, so we're going to speed him up. And additionally, for those who don't know, when I reacted to him before, the video I reacted to was... It was such a random video, like, it made no sense. It was just, he just keeps talking and talking and talking, just jumping from idea to idea, and then randomly splices in previous ideas. Essentially, in the video that I watched before, he said that anyone who's learning Latin is a fascist, anyone who's learning Esperanto is a communist, and anyone who's learning Japanese is doing it just for hentai or other reasons. Okay, so, and that was like a 16-minute video, so I can't remember, but, like, it was really unstructured rant. So let's see if he's done any better this time.
To learn a second language. To compensate.
Did I slow him down? I did too. How did I manage to do that? That's like the worst thing. No, that's not what I want to do. Okay, playback speed.
Something they never could accomplish.
That's good.
First language.
Il faut pas avoir des illusions là, je crois que c'est très difficile.
Okay, so now we've got Steve Kaufmann speaking one time. I can't win. That's fine. We'll just power through this. Okay, so there's a note on the screen. This is not me. This is Steve Kaufmann. As if we're all going to make that mistake. Like, I can see the resemblance between the two. Thank you for the note, Mr... I forgot your name. I'm sorry about that. I'm terrible with names. It's not just for you.
Natif, si par exemple tu vas aller vivre en France pendant 3, 4, 5 ans, petit à petit la prononciation va s'améliorer. Mais sinon, c'est difficile.
He started learning French in 1950. He lived in Montreal for many years. He lived in Paris for 3 years. And he still can't speak French. I don't know, maybe it's me, but that sounded like he was speaking French. Let me know down in the comments section how good is Steve's French. And I have no idea what this video is about or where it's from. You know, it could be a really old video, who knows. I'm assuming this video was chosen because Steve was speaking poorly. Like, I'm assuming that's what's going on here, but I don't know.
Sinon, je crois que le français est un peu difficile à prononcer. Mais tu as une...
He still sounds like a beginner, 75 years of failure, and he's the expert. Wait, 75 years of failure? Are you saying from day one? That because I'm assuming that's his age. Like, I have no idea how old Steve is. I would look it up on my phone right now, but it would probably take me 5 minutes to get to Google just to figure that out. So, like... I'm assuming he's 75 years old, and he learned French as a second language, which means that math is probably already off. Unless Steve is 100, in which case that would make sense, you know, because he would start learning at like 25 years old. But by God, Steve, if you're 100, my man, you look fucking amazing. Let me in. Give me your, like, whatever your hair, your skin and hair routine. Let me know, bro.
C'est naturel. C'est l'intonation, c'est la cadence qui est important. Et pas les sons individuels.
Oh, okay, I see how this is referencing me. This is not me, this is Evildea. Okay, I can see now why we might need to make that. But like, that one I still had hair. What do we do? I still got hair. Okay, or maybe the references, you know, that's Elmo. Okay, anyway, this video I was just restarting on my Chinese journey, and I started recording my videos in a series called The Grind, and I think this was my first attempt to speak like Chinese about a topic that wasn't just everyday life. I was trying to talk about Esperanto, I believe, in this video.
学的语言，所以我去 Google 开始怎么说？
I love how he chose the worst part of that video as well, because I remember the video, okay, this was me, I got a little bit lost. You really think this guy has any secrets to sell? No. No, I don't have any. If you're here for secrets, sorry to say I do not have secrets to sell. All I have to sell is my journey as a fellow language attempter. Oh god, my English is shocking. But like, yeah, I'm not trying to sell any secrets, so I don't know why that's there.
Search 是什么？但是我现在不能说出来。 我觉得是没关系。I started searching.
This is me, the monolingual polyglot. Okay, well, I don't know, like, maybe this is a play on, like, some type of play on words, monolingual polyglot. So you're a polyglot who doesn't actually speak other languages, so maybe you've tried learning a bunch of languages, but realistically you're still a monolingual. Is that like what this is? It's like every polyglot out there who's basically pre-A1 in every language that they've attempted. By the way, I noticed he didn't include my Esperanto in there. What was my Esperanto included in there? Bro, I got a C1 certificate in that shit. I fucking lectured in that shit. Picked on my Chinese.
Vibes based. It's vibes based. You either have that dog in you, or you don't. You're either chomping at the weights, or you're not.
Who the fuck's this chick? Why are we talking about vibes? Unless that's his learning style. Like, maybe he's the vibes-based guy. He's like, bro, if you want to learn Chinese, you just be one with the Qing, and it will come to you in a dream. Maybe that's what he means by vibes-based.
Can't fucking believe it.
With my PhD! PhD! With my PhD! PhD!
What the fuck am I watching? What is this? Why am I looking at chicks folded over the top of each other? Like, is this like a new method to learn Chinese? I'm all for it. Let's try this. What is it? We're gonna call this the folder method. Oh, for fuck's sake. Man, come on. You can't just drop that shit straight. Like, fucking hell.
You're pedal to the metal, lifting weights with the best friends
I'm glad I sped this up because I'm probably gonna get copyright strike by some fucking album out there I've never even heard of.
you've ever had. Gold's chin, then it's speech, and it's pain, and it's friendship, I think. And that just seemed a lot better. That just seemed a lot better than periodization. Ah!
I thought she's gonna say then my period, and then it just turned into periodization. What is going? Why are we watching some chick raging in her car about, you know, she just wants to make friends at like Muscle Beach, probably with Arnold Schwarzenegger? I don't know. Like what is this?
I don't want anywhere. I want you to tell me why it doesn't work. I like it.
Oh, maybe this is a rant about how don't listen to the experts, you know, if you enjoy doing your whatever it is, your ALG method of learning a language or something, you know, whatever it is, okay, whatever you enjoy doing, just go do that. Fuck those guys who pretend to be experts. I've never claimed to be an expert in language learning, by the way, guys. I'm just a dude who's learning languages online and sharing my failures with all of you guys.
PhDs in my business telling me about like hypertrophy. I don't give a fuck. I'm spinning the wheel. I'm Sisyphus up the hill. And that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. I like that. I love that. It's pretty much.
I'm kind of tempted to put this back to normal speed to just see if she still seems as psychotic. And like how expressive she is. You know what? Fuck it. We're gonna do that. We're gonna go back to normal speed just so I can see how crazy this girl is.
It's physical therapy. I don't need a PhD.
Is this normal speed? This must be normal speed. Let's just get... Oh my god. This video is a mess.
Telling you what to do. Telling you to feel.
PhD!
It's the music. I gotta speed it up. I gotta speed it up. Oh, man, this video is just me going faster and slower, faster and slower, faster and slower.
PhD!
Is this him singing? Like, I don't know this band. Maybe you guys know that. Drop the band. What? That's the greatest screenshot, dude. Right there. Okay, like, I don't know this band, okay, guys? It would not surprise me if this is the YouTuber just screaming PhD into his mic.
Millions of people are struggling to learn a second language.
Is this the actual start of the video? What are we? We're at 2 minutes and 53 seconds. That's of my time watching this, okay? We are at 9 minutes and 56 seconds of my audience's time. I'm so sorry. If you guys have not dropped off by now, I appreciate you all. This is insane. What kind of intro to a YouTube? I so would have dropped off this video if I was not mentioned in it, but I really want to see how he shits on me.
Compensate for something they never could accomplish in their first language. Yeah, I said it.
You said what? You said we learn a language to make up for something in our main language, and then, yeah, I said it. That's gold. Take that to the bank, bro. No one stepped over the line like I have.
I want to give you this significant caveat up front. This is a very American monologue. What I'm about to say will make a lot of sense to people who speak English in the United States, England, Canada, Australia. I have a...
Bro, I was worried for a second then, because I'm not American. I was like, I might not be able to watch this, but why am I in it? Can I just speed him up a bit faster? He's still too slow. Oh, well, I had him on 1. Okay, let's just do this again. Faster, 1.5.
In Romania, they're going to be listening to this and what the hell are you talking about? Everyone in Romania needs to speak 3 languages just to survive. I have a couple of fans in Hungary.
Maybe that's what he means by monolingual polyglot. Because you basically have a bunch of people who are born with a bunch of languages, you know, in their immediate environment, but they never learnt those languages intentionally, and therefore they essentially know as much about languages as your standard monolingual person does. Like, maybe that's what he means.
You need on a daily basis in Hungary just to get by. It's a very fundamental difference in milieu that will make what I'm trying to explain here more difficult for some of those people to appreciate or understand. I nevertheless think this observation, this question of to what extent you're compensating for one language or another, it's worth taking seriously, even for the Romanians and Hungarians among us.
Like, he hasn't clarified why this is important to people from America, you know, Australia and stuff like that. I'm assuming it's something to do with the fact that we generally speak one language. Wow, this light just keeps hitting the tip of my nose, and I look like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer right now.
Kid write into me, maybe 5 years ago, and explain that English is his first language, but he never learned handwriting. Okay. He never learned to communicate in his first language with a pencil or a pen and a piece of paper. And he sent me an image of his pathetic attempt to form words, with the even more tragic explanation that his high school teachers had all dismissed this and just pretended it wasn't a problem, pretended it didn't really matter. At some point, he had asked a guidance counselor about it. He'd asked for help from some authority figure, and this person just did not want to help, could not be bothered, and said, don't worry about it, as if this wouldn't be an obstacle to his professional success.
Okay, so we've got someone who sucks at handwriting. That's what I got from that.
And I told him, I'm sure he'll remember this still to this day, I told him, you have to look at this as an emergency. This isn't a low priority. This isn't a problem that can be on the back burner. You are in a situation now that is just as dire as not having a single pair of shoes. Okay? It's one thing if you have a pair of shoes, but you don't have a good pair of shoes to wear to a job interview. Right? But you can still leave the house and try to buy a second pair of shoes. Okay? You have a pair of shoes that you can wear to a job interview, but you don't have a separate pair of shoes you can wear to a gym. I understand. But we're talking about an emergency situation here.
What the fuck's the shoes got to do with it then? I'm so confused. What's the relationship between shoes, handwriting, language, Americans? You guys have got more than one pair of shoes over there, right?
Going around barefoot because you can't read and write in your own first language. You can have no higher priority. And you have to go to the librarian and explain that. I talked him through exactly what kind of books he needs to ask the librarian for. He needs to get books that give him diagrams of how to form each of the letters and the ligatures for how the letters connect, and he has to practice them. He has to practice every day until he's mastered writing his first language. And you have to communicate that to all of your teachers at school and your parents, where you say, yeah, my top priority right now is being able to write in my own first language. And, obviously he was still going through the school system where he has to be able to write answers to essay questions on exams and things like that, right? So we're not even getting into the questions of how other people judge you on the basis of your handwriting, because that cuts a lot deeper than judging someone on the basis of their pair of shoes.
Okay, so we're judging people based on their ability to do handwriting. I'm hoping this is all going to link back to me in some way, because my handwriting is not so bad. In fact, I got pretty good handwriting. Like, I kind of did some artsy shit a while ago with handwriting and stuff, so it's pretty good.
What do you do when you don't even have one pair of shoes? What do you do when you haven't mastered your own first language, when there are serious gaps in your education, in your ability?
If you don't have a pair of shoes, that would be equivalent of saying, I don't have a language, and therefore I'm just sitting there going, you were basically equivalent to the guys who grew up with the goats in ancient Egypt, the ones that were experimented on. I don't know, let him play it out.
In your own first language. 2 other stories of this kind. All 3 of these people are white. One is American, 2 are Canadian, is it?
Okay, I'm very glad to know that I know their skin color, because now I can visualize them. Thank you for that extra information. Very important to the story.
All these are people who spoke English as their first language. I knew this cat called Philip, who today is a published author, who today has a PhD, and he was already in his 30s when I first knew him. And, you know, whatever the explanation was, this is long before coronavirus, this is long before smartphones, now that I think about it, before laptop computers had become ubiquitous, taken over people's
Okay, I get it. It was a long time ago.
lives. Really, laptop computers existed. The Nokia phone existed. This is going back. Somehow, he had grown up in the 1990s without ever learning to write in his own first language. So when I met him, we had this conversation. He was kind of applying for PhD programs.
Wait, let me get this right. The guy can't write his native language. And I'm assuming the native language is English here because you're providing assistance. I could be wrong. Maybe this is where I'm completely wrong. But if he can't write in English and is applying to PhD programs, how the fuck did he get through a bachelor's? The master's? High school? Like, this must be a different world to I grew up in. Like, we wrote by hand in school. Like, I don't understand. Like, I could kind of understand someone, for example, my dad. He had a very, very terrible education when he was growing up, okay? Ended up leaving home, like, prior to 10 years old, moving countries just over 10 years old, okay? So he never learnt to write at school because he never freaking went to school. And he would end up, you know, whenever you need to fill out a government form or something, he would look for the letters on the page so he could just replicate them to write his own name. But he learnt to write in his 20s, okay? But my point being is he was not trying to do a doctorate or something like that. So I can't see how this is possible unless he's going for a doctorate in a language that's his native language, and that native language is not English, but he also speaks English. Like, I don't get it.
Starting a PhD, and as I mentioned, he was in his early 30s. And my reaction to seeing his handwriting and to hearing his justification for why he was getting through life with these, you know, rough assemblages of intersecting flat lines on first language, my reaction was so negative, right, that he went to the library and got out the books to teach himself cursive handwriting that day.
Wait, this is not about knowing how to write. This is about a specific style of writing, cursive handwriting. So you had a negative reaction to cursive handwriting? I'm confused. Like, for example, in Australia, we don't teach, well, when I was growing up, they didn't teach cursive handwriting in school. I learned it later on because, as I said, I got into some artsy shit. We just learned block handwriting. That was pretty much it. My block handwriting's fucking top notch, by the way. But yeah, it's like I don't get where this, like, how's this related to me? We're 9 minutes in. How's this related to me? Have you got like a secret photos of my handwriting something?
He was older than I was, by the way. I didn't lecture him. I didn't give him advice the same way. But just my reaction, that's according to him, my facial expression, right? My astonishment, looking at his handwriting and hearing him make these excuses for it. He got the message, and he went to the library and got the books and buckled down on improving his ability in English. Now, at that time, he had already studied many other languages. Really, then already, I could call him an accomplished polyglot, actually. And
Okay, so he was a dude who was good at languages but sucked at handwriting. Okay, so cool.
He was getting stuck into Sanskrit pretty seriously. It was Sanskrit that interested him. It was in the Sanskrit language he would write his PhD. So at that time, I was studying several languages. There's no point giving my autobiography here. But, okay, so here we are, and you're trying to prove yourself as an intellectual, and you're even taking pride in your penmanship, in forming the glyphs used to express the Sanskrit language. Okay, it's actually called Devanagari, so the written form is not called Sanskrit. And I'm over here, I'm studying these languages. But there's this huge gap in your own ability to communicate in English.
That's not a gap in your ability to communicate. That's just lacking the ability to perform a specific style of handwriting. In fact, most people will not communicate via cursive handwriting in this modern day and age. Let's just be realistic about this. How many people still write cursive letters to their pen pals? It's not something that most people do anymore. In fact, this is a very English-centric perspective, because could you imagine, for example, someone from China? Like, most Chinese people, by the time they're adults, they get really, really bad at handwriting in Chinese, and they often forget characters. Like, I've seen many times my wife, for example, who's basically, she knows like ancient Chinese poetry, pretty much everything about Chinese history and literature and that. And like I've seen her try to write things on a piece of paper and then like just stop and go, the fuck does the character look like again? And then like you'll see her sitting there for like 5 seconds being like, oh yeah, it's like this. Like she literally forgets how to do like characters just because obviously complex, there's so many of them. So this is a very English perspective on a very like I still don't understand why we're picking on people's ability to do cursive handwriting, okay?
What's going on psychologically here? You know, think about it. And until he met me, the excuses he had, he didn't see any problem with it. Right? This reminds me of a few other...
Man, speeding up his laugh makes him sound like a hyena. I was going to say hijackal, but a hyena.
Anecdotes I'm not going to tell. Super briefly, I once bumped into this woman. I would guess...
Wait. We'll just jump into another story? You're not going to wrap that one up? Okay, whatever.
She was 22. Could have been 25. She's a beautiful young woman in her mid-20s.
Okay.
And
I'm assuming she was white.
when I saw her handwriting, again, my facial expression. This is a white woman in Canada.
Yep, white woman.
Her first language is English. She doesn't know any language other than English. Okay, sorry, some of you might assume I'm talking about a woman in Cambodia or something, or a woman in China. No. And look, so this woman in her 20s, everyone's been damaged by coronavirus. But obviously I'm left to wonder to what extent her education, whether high school or university or both or something, to what extent that was disrupted by coronavirus and the effect it's had on institutions and the attitudes of people in positions of institutional authority. You know, anyway, this is really incredibly beautiful young woman. She's, truth be told, she's a candidate for the most beautiful woman I've ever laid eyes on. She was really that good looking.
Okay, we get it. You found her very attractive. Not important to the story here.
And I look at her handwriting, and then I look at her. I mean, obviously, I have no idea how she interpreted the expression on my face. But, like, I was looking back and forth through her handwriting thinking, because, what are you, 5 years old? Like, have I totally misjudged this? Like, this handwriting is so bad. To me, this looks like a small child struggling to get through primary school. Look, the point of this video is not to celebrate my own snobbery.
You did a fucking terrible job of it. But you know what my thought was when I was hearing this story, man? My thought was, okay, you found this woman super attractive. Like, you stated that multiple times there, okay? And she had terrible handwriting. In your mind, a beautiful woman must be good at handwriting. Is there any other thing she must be good at in your mind?
The polyglot phenomenon.
Oh, finally, we're gonna get to me. Okay, please. Shit on me a lot better than that. That was a fucking... That roasting of that poor chick was absolutely terrible. I expect top-tier roasting or I'm gonna be pissed.
Of taking on the challenge of learning a new language with no professor, no exam, no grade, no way to fail.
Okay, I don't know why I'm in that category. I'm not a polyglot. But anyway, so language learners who are not trying to do exams. Well, then this is definitely not me. I've already done an exam, C1 certificate for Esperanto, so this is starting off great.
On the internet, either they succeed or they quit, but there is no fail. Either they succeed or they pause or they take a break or they start studying yet another language.
By the way, guys, just in case you're curious, I don't just have a certificate in the language. I've given speeches in the language to hundreds of people and, you know, auditoriums. I've run businesses in the language. I've done investor booklets in the language with projections on marketing trends and all this type of stuff. Done pretty much everything you could possibly imagine in that language, okay? So it's not like I just managed to scrape my way through a certificate or something.
Third language, and a fourth language, and a fifth language, and you can come back to the second language later. But there is nobody to judge you.
Are you saying that people learning languages online on YouTube, because obviously my face is there, are not being judged? Bro, have you seen the fucking comment section of my videos? Like, literally every second video that I drop with, you know, Spanish particularly, people are like, bro, your Spanish is so fucking shit, you should be doing this. And then someone will be like, he can't do that because he's currently testing and he's doing an experiment. And the other person will be like, then why is he doing a shit experiment? Get good at Spanish. And then I'll jump down in the comment section and be like, bros, you know I'm here, I can read these comments and like, oh my god, it's Evildea, why are you so shit at Spanish? I'm like, for fuck's sake. Like, that's literally So many of my comments. If you make videos on YouTube, it doesn't even have to be about it. Someone would just shit on you for existing. Like, you should know this. You have a YouTube channel. The idea that you don't get critiqued, like you literally critiqued Steve Kaufmann over there. Like, well, you didn't critique him. You just laughed at him without explaining why. But like, it just doesn't exist. This straw man you're building up.
There is no experience like Philip had of seeing the expression of my face and just feeling dejected, feeling that you're not good enough. As soon as you get in this polyglot ego...
Bro, I hope you've seen the expression on my face most of this video. What we are 14 minutes in, you still have not spoken about me. And in fact, every person that you've created or spoken about so far, hypothetical person, does not match up with me. So, why am I in your video?
You're surrounded by people who are warm and encouraging and who reward your curiosity and who recognize the effort you're making. That was certainly true of Philip. In case you haven't heard of this religion called Hinduism, there were a whole
don't worry, guys. It's nothing important. This is a small little religion.
lot of people giving him positive reinforcement. Isn't it wonderful that this white Canadian who speaks English as a first language
My bro, you really like white people, don't you?
is now making the effort to learn Sanskrit, to learn the ancient, sacred, scriptural language of their religion, their philosophy, their literary tradition, okay? Different sociolinguistic attitudes in different places. When I was learning Lao, the Lao people were very positive and encouraging, okay? When I was learning Cambodian, it was the opposite. Cambodia is right next door to Laos, but totally different, sociolinguistic attitudes. Point is, this is a way of never dealing with the deficit you've got in your own first language.
Okay, so it seems like we're getting to a point. We're learning another language for the constant positive comments and vibes we're getting from the community. Vibes! Okay, the positive vibes we're getting from the community. But that's to cover up a greater darkness that exists within our souls.
Now, you may ask me, Zell, can you write a newspaper article in Chinese? I have written newspaper articles in Chinese. I have published newspaper articles in Chinese.
Quite the claim, my man. Where is this newspaper article? I would love to see it. Like, okay, I'll just take him at his word. He's written newspaper articles in Chinese. Congratulations. You are the master of the Chinese language. I bow down to your greater wit.
Down one level. Can you write a letter to the editor of a newspaper in Chinese?
Holy shit! We have to write letters to editors now? Okay, well, he's got me, guys. He's got me. I'm not at letter writing to the editor, doing the white Karen thing. See, I'm doing it now. I'm calling out all the white peoples. Yes, he's got me. What can I say? I'm not writing letters to the editor.
With an article, and then have them read it, understand your Chinese, and publish it without any changes. I've done that in Chinese. Okay? But the question is, can you do it in English?
Wait, that's the gaping hole in our abilities? The fact... Bro, anyone who's done a high school could do this. Hell, anyone who's probably graduated late primary school could write a goddamn letter to a newspaper, assuming they still exist in your area, and have them publish it. This is not some great ass achievement. Man, I've seen some of the letters that have got into the newspapers here. Like, it is stupid shit. This is the great gaping hole in all of our abilities. We are unable, apparently, according to this man, to write a letter to the editor in our native languages.
It's 2026. In the last 25 years, between 2001, when I had that conversation with Philip, and 2026, in these 25 years, the culture of penmanship has disintegrated.
I don't know how many people go out there and master Mandarin Chinese, but have yet to be able to write a letter in their own native language. Hey, put your hand up in the comment section if you are that guy. If you are the guy who can't write a letter to the editor in their native language, yet you can do it in Chinese.
The culture of caring about your handwriting, caring about the quality of your handwriting, caring about the quality of your own written expression in an abstract sense, caring about the quality of your voice.
My first thought is that this man here, he needs to take some of his own advice, but instead of focusing on his cursive handwriting abilities, he should focus in on how to structure a good presentation. Okay, so first up, you spent 3 minutes of random fucking memes at the beginning of this video, at which point you would have lost the vast majority of potential viewers of this video. Okay, you need to understand, 1, how to YouTube, and 2, how to communicate. 1, with YouTube, that first 30 seconds is bloody important. Okay? If you don't capture them, then you're not getting them for the rest of the video. Next, you need to learn how to structure your ideas and create a coherent idea, story, behind your video. At the moment, you've thrown out 3 random characters, you've shat on them because they're unable to do cursive handwriting, and apparently this somehow leads to polyglots on YouTube who are unable to write letters to the editor in their native language. What is going on here?
Disintegrated in these 25 years the culture of caring about reading in your own first language, of being well read, of being a good author, of being excellent at written composition, even if you're typing on a keyboard instead of using pen and paper, right?
Okay, you may be amazing at that. You're terrible at speaking, though. I think you think that if you speak slowly and clearly and add some emotion behind your words, you are thus a good communicator. This is not the case. At the moment, what you need to work on is stringing together your concepts, your ideas, and creating a coherent meaning behind everything, okay? Because at the moment, this is just a rant.
Disintegrated in the last 25 years. At the core of the polyglot phenomenon is this human instinct, this psychological compensation, whereby people want to have the positive reward of writing and publishing their first article in Chinese, getting wrapped up in a loving, supportive Sanskrit study community, whatever it may be, when they cannot write and publish a newspaper article in English.
This person doesn't exist. And if they did exist, they are an absolute minority of the language learning community. The idea that someone would somehow reach a higher level in Mandarin Chinese and write letters to the editor and yet be unable to do that in their own native language is just bizarre.
If you're not eloquent in your first language, if you're not well spoken, if you're not charismatic, if you're not a good author.
You forgot one thing. You forgot to mention that you need to be able to string your ideas together and they need to be coherent.
Studying a second language will only make that worse. You are deepening your disability.
Maybe this is what you did wrong. Maybe you got so goddamn good at Chinese that your English just sucked. Like, maybe this is a rant about yourself, because I don't know who this applies to. Hand up in the comments section if this applies to you.
Language. And you're distracting yourself with the positive.
Bro, we are 18 minutes in and he hasn't shat on me yet. What an embarrassment.
Reward that engaging with a second language in a multicultural society sometimes can bring.
Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? I hate school too. We all hate school. You were gonna read the PhD anyway. It's vibes based. You either have a dog in you.
I am at a loss of words. I have never met someone who thinks they are fucking God's gift to Earth as much as this guy. You need to step back, stop writing letters to the editor in Chinese, and focus on just communicating your ideas. Like, I don't even understand what the intention of this video was. I think the intention was to say that you need to be good in your native language before you go and focus on other languages. Like, you have to master your native language first. And what is master? And in his eyes, master is apparently, one component of it is that you must be good at doing cursive handwriting. Like, that's one aspect of it. I don't think that's... Why am I saying I don't think? That's just not true. Okay, this is not true at all. Like, you can reach a point in your native language where that is good enough for your needs. Like, I don't need to improve my English beyond the point that it's at, because I am able to make videos on YouTube and people keep coming back and watching them. Therefore, my English is good enough. Okay? I also don't need to improve my English because I don't need it for my actual job, which I don't know if this guy knows or not. I don't do languages as a job. I do it as a fucking hobby. My full-time job is a senior programmer, a senior graphics programmer, game development programmer. Okay? So it's like, English is not required there. I do languages because I fucking enjoy it. I know. People do shit because they enjoy it. Not because they're trying to get the appreciation of this dude. I don't know, guys. What was this? Well, give me your thoughts down in the comments section. Let me know if you are that person. You know who I'm talking about. And I'll see you all in the next video. And if you're not there, well, I expect you to be practicing your cursive handwriting. Otherwise, Elmo is going to be practicing it with a knife into your back.